Well, how's it going, everyone? We're live again. So, um, Taylor is coming in right now. Good. So we're a couple minutes late. Road started to get a little icy, so we're out and about. But we're going to talk a little bit about our video that we posted last night. It's not a video I thought I would have done. It's not plugged in. Don't worry about it. It's not a video I thought I would have done for last night. I got it done a lot faster than expected. We're going to talk about our EVPs that we showed you in that video. There's a lot of them that they're solid EVPs, if you ask. Hold on just a second. We're going to move you guys up a little bit. There we go. There you go. Now you can see my beautiful display.
It's a little too high.
Jesus.
Down a little. There you go.
Look at that. All right. So we're going to talk about our EVPs, and that's something that Michigan Bay Paranormal Team has kind of we've specialized in EVPs just a little bit. And so we are really picky about our EVPs. We like good EVPs, and some of those in there, like most of them were good. Like you could make out what they said. They were Class A responses. But the first one was just like a breath. It was like a, and the only reason that one was in there was because it seemed to respond to me. Like I asked it, because what we have is we have a voice recorder that we actually hook up to headphones like this. And I just knocked a bunch of stuff off my desk. But we hook up to our headphones and we can actually hear it in live time, what's being recorded. So that one I asked, was that you? Because I was solo in this room. There were people in the other room in the background, but it sounded like it was pretty close in the microphone. So I asked, was that you? And you hear it again, and it goes, again. So that's the only reason I considered that even an EVP to begin with, let alone a Class A response that was worthy of making that video. But if you guys haven't checked the video out, it's the top 5 EVPs. It's the first video with Mason in it. He is my cousin. He has been doing our film work for our investigations, and he's been doing a really good job. He's been on the team for like 2 years, but I investigated with him as a kid, just running around in the woods and stuff. Mm-hmm. But EVPs, I think, are a focal point of our team. And it's probably going to be a lot of our focus, to be honest, moving forward, because it's one of my favorite pieces of evidence, personally.
Really?
I think so. I mean, electronic voice phenomenon, it's hard to debunk when something that wasn't there all of a sudden appears there. And it's just cool. It's tedious to review and it's hard to hear sometimes, but we have, some of us are better at hearing them than others. This one's not very good at hearing them at all. I'm really good at hearing them. But that's kind of been a lot of our focus as far as investigations go, because apparitions and visual evidence, those are few and far between, really. They're not very common to catch. And we've caught a couple, but they're really not very common to catch. So EVPs are kind of the focal point, personal experiences. And as you'll see in the episodes, there's no BS with us. It's pretty straightforward. It's kind of, this is what we caught, this is how we investigated, sort of deal. I mean, they're 20-minute episodes, and we took 10 hours of footage from them. So, I mean, you're still getting the highlight reel. What?
You know what I think's cooler than an EVP for evidence?
What?
A disembodied voice.
Disembodied voice. So, does anyone know the difference?
Those are super cool.
And we've caught a couple of those too.
I've had plenty of experiences with them too.
So disembodied voice is something you can hear without the aid of headphones or anything like that. Whereas EVP is not heard at the time unless you're wearing the headphones.
Hence the name. It's an electronic voice phenomenon.
Whereas disembodied voice is a voice that's
It's
heard
as
out
if
loud.
Bryce was talking, but he wasn't there,
Right.
and I could hear it.
But both of them are really cool pieces of evidence. And obviously apparitions and stuff like that are really cool too. It's just we don't get nearly as many of them. So with that being said, if we have any questions, comments, anything you'd like to hear about from us, the floor is always open as usual.
Do we have a lot of disembodied voices on record or not? Really?
No, I think we have almost as many apparitions as disembodied voices. So they're a pretty rare occurrence as well.
So I'm lucky.
Although at the Shook Hotel we caught a couple, and you'll see that in the episode when it comes out.
When does that episode come out?
The episode comes out in October.
Do all of them come out in October?
September, October timeframe is when our actual episodes are going to drop.
Is it on a weekly basis? Should we be looking for it?
I think it's going to be a weekly basis.
Should we ring that subscriber bell so we know?
You should 100% ring the subscriber bell. And if you know anyone else that might be interested, you should tell them to ring the subscriber bell too. Bell. So we did a thing. We started with 37 subscribers. We're up and coming channel. We're not off the ground running yet, but we started with 37 subscribers. We're at 44 or 45 right now. I said our next investigation, which is at a place that got hit pretty hard with some of the floods in Michigan here that happened last May. Our next investigation that we are having is in April, and it's at one of those places that got hit by the floods. And if we can get to 50, every single member of the team that is going to be on that investigation, in addition to our original donation to that location, will donate $1 per subscriber if we can hit 50.
So if we hit 50, that means what?
So if we get
exactly team member?
If we get exactly 50, 37 to 50 is 13 times however many team members. So you could be looking at a couple $100 extra depending on how many people subscribe, but we have to hit 50. That's the agreement we have worked out. So if you know anyone that might be interested in this content, tell them to subscribe because I'll gladly pay it out, as will the rest of our investigators. We'll gladly pay it out, but we need subscribers, and that's the agreement. So try and help them. Help us help them. But anyway, yeah, EVPs are a large portion, especially earlier on in investigating. EVPs were like our only piece of evidence.
I mean, they happen more often than others, but a lot of the time they're the cream of the crop when it comes to evidence.
Exactly. And we have the best audio equipment that we could find for recording EVPs. And we've invested a lot of time and energy. There's other people that want to do other audio equipment to record Ovilus, freaking Spirit Box. No, we're old school. We stick straight to EVPs because those are hard to debunk or hard to disprove.
And along with disembodied voices and EVPs, we do have EVPs that are just noises and disembodied sounds.
Yep.
Though disembodied sounds are sometimes very easy and very quick to discredit.
Right.
It's only select cases that you would keep a disembodied sound unless you're 100% sure it is genuine.
And that's the thing with evidence. The old rule goes, when in doubt, throw it out. If you think that there's a possibility that it might not be evidence, it's probably not evidence. And it's most definitely not evidence to non-believers, which is a big portion of our target audience. So you got to make sure your evidence is good. That's always important. So is there anyone logged on? I see a couple people logged on that has any questions for us at this time. I know we were just on last night, so might be a slow going night, but if you do have any questions, go ahead and ask them. I mean, we're always We're always open to questions, even if it's not about the topic at hand. And like I said, share the hell out of this channel, because the more subscribers we get, the better. And on that note, we're looking. What was your disembodied voice experience? That's Taylor question.
You haven't had any?
I've had a couple, but yours are better.
Okay, well, I want you to tell yours too, because that's a good.
Me and the Shook Hotel, when we heard the woman laughing, would have been my disembodied voice experience.
Where were you? So you guys were
We're
upstairs?
on the third floor. It was Brad, Megan, and I in the room, and we heard a laughter.
Was it like a cackle or like a hee hee?
I don't really remember that clearly, but I know it was significant enough to us go, what was that?
So definitely strange, considering I'm guessing Megan was the only other woman on the case. And it wasn't her.
Well, you were on the case.
Oh,
but...
that case. Yeah, I was at home base though on the second floor.
Yep. But anyway, what was yours?
Well, I've had, what, 2?
2-ish, yeah.
So the first one was at Bobby Mackey's. So for those who've never been there, the basement is very dangerous, and not because of the portal to hell, but because they have an underwater river and tectonic activity, and parts of the basement are falling into the void of the earth, to put it into simple terms. So there's a portion of the basement that's completely inaccessible anymore because there's a giant, I would say, 5-6 feet wide, I don't know how deep, it's a big old gaping crack in the floor. And the tour guide was telling us, this is the spot I don't want you going in, and please stay out of it, and explaining why it would be, in fact, very bad for you to fall into said crack. And at that point, I was in the very back of the group. It was kind of like an L-shaped hallway, so there was a wall to the very back that we came in to enter the area. And from behind me, I heard a man's voice say, "Get away from here." And I turn around and I'm facing a wall, and 3 other people in the area turned around as well. And there was no guys around us in the very back. It was all females. So very strange. I think one of the cameras vaguely caught it from the back.
Yeah, vaguely.
It wasn't on our footage, so we don't have it. It belongs to another person, but
right.
You could very faintly hear it. We were working with, amateur equipment at the time, because that's how you start out. You start out with the basics and you work your way up.
Right.
And then the second one was also at Bobby Mackey's. So we went back with a much smaller group. And
just our team.
At the end of the night, we had to, of course, take a picture in front of the stage to commemorate the event. We try to do team pictures at all of our locations for memories.
You'll see that on our
and
Facebook
good
page.
Facebook profile pictures.
Absolutely.
And I, of course, wanted some pictures of the stage, so everyone else had meandered away and was heading towards the exit, so I was the only one standing there in front of the stage. And all of a sudden, I turned to go away to catch up with everyone because it was the end of the night and we didn't want to keep the person running the investigation any longer than they needed to.
We had already overstayed.
We overstayed our welcome.
We overstay every chance we get, especially
but at least we
paying.
were kind and approachable, and she wasn't too upset about it.
We jump started her car.
We did. And I think that made up for it.
Yep.
And so I turned to go leave, and from behind me, a male voice says, "Taylor." And I turn around, and it's an empty stage. And I look at the sound booth and go and curve around it. There's no one in the sound booth, and all the sounds are off. So it wasn't anyone playing a prank on me. And it certainly wasn't any of the team members who had left the building at this point.
Right.
So it's hard to say, based on the time gap and memories of both instances, if it was the same exact voice or not. But a part of me likes to believe that it is. And if so, that's really cool that an entity cared about my well-being near a dangerous hole in the floor and also wanted to say my name.
Which, by the way, James and I did climb into that hole in the floor the second time we were there. It's treacherous.
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 But those are my disembodied voice experiences that we unfortunately did not capture on camera. And it's pretty cool though that something said my name and was sentient enough to pick up on my name. I don't think Taylor was a popular name back way when,
I
but
have no idea.
it could be coincidence. It could not be. It's an experience in the experience logbook, though, that we chalk up to all these little pieces that make investigating fun and exciting. Getting to experience something very personal.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's not so fun things like hair pulling or scratches.
Scratches, hair pulling,
Thanks,
being pushed.
disclosed private campground.
Right. But anyway, guys, we have a couple cases coming up. We're going to pick back up really heavily in April. And it's going to be full throttle from there until probably through October. And we plan on doing a live event here on YouTube. We're going to have our episodes released, obviously, earlier, September and October. And then at the end of it, at the end of season 1, we're going to have a live event here where we actually take you on an investigation live. And it will be the full night experience. And we might even have some people actually join us, but we will see. There's still things in the works. But that is what a lot of our meeting was about. Yesterday was our cases coming up and our live events. And hopefully we will see you guys in person soon. I'd like to do a couple of Paracon events and stuff like that as well. So hopefully we'll be able to reach out to you guys a little more. But until then, we'll always be live on here. And we'll be posting more content videos. I hope everyone liked the top 5 EVPs video. We might come out with more EVP videos. Might come out with more just evidence in general videos.
I think they'll look forward to a blooper reel.
The blooper reel will be an eventual thing.
I think it'll be funny.
It's always funny.
Though we could do on one of these discussions our favorite or least favorite pranks we've played on each other.
We could, or we could just not.
Depends on what the audience wants.
We'll see, but until next time, we are going to sign off of here. Thank you again for tuning in, everyone, and we'll catch you later. Have a good night.